don't necessarily need 10 different ideas or 7 different ideas. True diversification means building layers from one foundation. You can't multiply what you're not willing to let go of. Every person can't, nor should they, be able to buy your highest offer first. Let alone that gives you 3 different opportunities to make more money on the same thing. If you've only been offering the actual thing that you do, the way that you get results can be just as valuable as the results themselves. People want to learn skills. They don't want to just have a bunch of information, and sometimes they want to be able to save money by just doing it themselves. At the time, I didn't realize how powerful it really was. You don't create more competition by teaching what you do. Have you ever come up with an idea that was so good that it kept you up at night? That idea that both made you excited to execute on, but also nervous at the same time? Have you thought about it and you was like, okay, so how can I have 6 more of these? How can I have about 9 more of these? Because for some odd reason, we believe that we need to have 10 different things or 7 different things in order to have 7 different streams of income. We've heard that the average millionaire, the average rich person has at least 7 streams of income. And while that's not false, you need to understand that you don't necessarily need 10 different ideas or 7 different ideas. You just need one idea, one good idea that can be multiplied with strategy. And so in this video, I want to talk about how you can take one idea and multiply it into at least 10 different income streams. Because true diversification means building layers from one foundation. And you have to understand that while, yes, you will always have new ideas, ideation will be always the highest form of value creation. But you don't need to create new ideas to grow. You just need to expand that one idea through different forms, different offers, and different audiences. And I'll explain what I mean later on in this video. And I want you to think about, for my faith people, I want you to think about the parable of the talents. I think it's Matthew 25, like verse 15 or something. When the master gave one 5 talents, he gave another 2 talents, and he gave another 1 talent, each according to their ability. And the only one who was called wicked was the one who buried it. And so I want you to understand this one thing if you don't understand anything else. You can't multiply what you're not willing to let go of. You cannot multiply what you're not willing to let go of, what you're not willing to manage, what you're not willing to steward. The difference between the 2 who multiplied and the one that hid his talent isn't creativity, it's stewardship. And we all know what happened to him. If you don't know, go read it. Like I said, Matthew 25, it's at least, I think, verse 15 or verse 10 through 15 or something like that. I haven't memorized the Bible all the way. I know about it. I know where certain things are. I just don't know the exact scripture. So I always have notes to refer to just so I can guide you guys in the right direction and so that I'm not just spewing off the top of my head. So let me go ahead and just jump into each different idea. I'm going to give you at least 10 different ways that you can diversify one idea that you have. I'm gonna probably use the example of photography in this thing. So just so you know, I'm a photographer by nature, by trade. That's one of the things that I'm good at. It's one of the things that I've built my career off of. That's what I built my last business off of. And that's one of the services that my current business now offers as well. So yeah, I'm probably going to use that as an example. So just so you know, give a heads up and everything like that. So let's start and go into the first way that you can diversify one idea into 10 different streams of income. The first idea is to package it at different access levels. This is probably the most common one because every person can't, nor should they, be able to buy your highest offer first. Let me say that again. Every person can't and every person shouldn't buy your first or buy your highest offer first. This is generally just like thinking in tiers, thinking in packages, where you have a free or low ticket offer that teaches the what. This is pretty much just talking to anybody who owns business. This is teaching the what. The free and low entry offer is teaching the what. So this is your content. This could be an ebook. This could be a mini course. And then you have a mid tier that comes after that. That's generally what we call the core offer. The free and low offer can actually lead into this middle one. And this middle one teaches the how. This middle one teaches the how by either a program or a workshop or a group training. This is generally like your one to many, where you can talk to a whole bunch of people at one time instead of talking to people one on one, because that one on one is generally going to be your high ticket or your high tier, which is either I'm doing it with you or I'm doing it for you. If you've listened to any of my other videos or if you've taken my coaching or anything like that, I always talk about having a do it yourself, a done with you, and a done for you. So the done with you or the done for you solution is generally when the service comes into play, generally when the coaching comes into play, or consulting or whatever. That's generally going to be your highest tier of what it is that you offer. So if you think about it in tiers, just by that alone, that gives you three different opportunities to make more money on the same thing. I can either teach you how to do it yourself, I can do it with you, I can teach a group of you guys how to do it, or I can do it for you and you just hire me to do it. Those three tiers, those three ideas can give you three different means of income, all from one idea. So I want you to understand that you're not creating new work from this. You're just creating new doors. You're not creating new work. You're just creating new doors with this one strategy. So if you've only been offering one thing, if you've only been offering the service, if you've only been offering the coaching, if you've only been offering the consulting, if you've only been offering the actual thing that you do, try adding in a free slash low tier offer that can also be like your lead magnet in a sense. And then also think about doing a group offer or a mid tier offer in itself, which includes group coaching, the workshop, or some type of program that people can sign up for. And those three things will already take your income from where it's at now to the next place. The next one is monetizing the process. So in the photography, videography world, you'll hear things or you hear people talk about presets. You'll hear people talking about LUTs. You'll hear people talking about actions. Basically, you're productizing your process. You're creating a product from your process that you've documented or that you've made accessible via a preset, via a LUT or something like that. So if somebody wants to have the same color grade as you, perhaps, then they would download or go and buy your LUT or go and buy your preset or go and buy your action. The way that you get results can be just as valuable as the results themselves. And this can be coupled with tier number one. This can be an add-on to tier that low slash free tier. If you have a low slash free tier and you are teaching people the what, then if they want to take the next step, but they're not necessarily ready for that free tier, for that mid-level tier, with that program or for the group coaching or whatever, then that these add-ons would be another way that you can add on another income stream to that offer. So now what used to be, let's just say $47, then becomes $79, or then becomes $97, or then becomes $150, depending on whatever price points you put these at. Because every framework, every system, every checklist, every process that you have, you can create or take that and turn it into its own stream of income. Sell the process as well as selling what you do. People want to learn skills. They don't want to just have a bunch of information. And sometimes they want to be able to save money by just doing it themselves. So if you have another option for them to be able to accept from you in order for them to be able to do it themselves, then that in turn still gives you an opportunity to make money without you ever having to even do the thing in the first place. It's what you already do. You're just documenting it, you're just productizing it and selling it. You're just selling the process. And you can add a video to it, you can do whatever. Monetizing your process and not just the product is one of the easiest ways, I want to say, that you can actually turn what you do into more streams of income, because it doesn't add any additional work other than adding it to your website or just having it available for you to send to somebody and give you money for it. So let's just say, like I said, photography. If you normally pose people, create a posing guide. These are the top 10, top 7, top 20, top 50 poses that I use to pose my clients for X, Y, and Z. Or you can do a client workflow template. What is the template as far as like from start to finish, or from beginning of the editing session to the end of the editing session? This can be a exclusive video that they get access to when they purchase, or this can be your presets, this can be your actions, this can be your templates, this can be your LUTs, this can be all of those things packaged into one thing. You've already built the process. So just allow it to pay you twice, allow it to pay you again. Presets and everything was like one of the first things that I got introduced to when it came to just like marketing my photography business to other photographers, which was, at the time, I didn't realize how powerful it really was, but it is a very lucrative way to make money without you having to do any additional work. Number three is to teach it in multiple formats. So I know a lot of people get a little weary or get a little skeptical about teaching what it is that they do. But here's the thing: you don't create more competition by teaching what you do. You actually end up building people who then in turn you can end up hiring or end up contracting to help you with projects or to replace you in a sense, so that you don't have to always be the one to do the work. But that's a whole nother video in itself. I actually created a video previously where I'm talking about how, if you're doing these things, you're probably building a business that you can't step away from. So in the meantime, I think I'll show it up somewhere around here. But I think in the meantime, go watch that video. It's helpful. Actually, me and Alex Formosa actually made a similar video, same title, similar concept. His is about $100 million business. Mine is about $100,000 business. It's definitely helpful. I advise you to go check that out in your free time. And so, yeah, but basically, you want to touch people at all angles. And I know this sounds weird, but you want to be able to meet people where they're at, because some people read, some people like to watch videos, some people like to actually experience the thing in person. And so it's not about changing the idea, but it's about changing the format. See, this means that you're turning one signature topic or one signature idea into this can be a workshop, this can be a self-paced course, this can be a digital workbook, this can be a coaching intensive, this can be a podcast or a mini video series. And I like this example that Myron Golden actually gave when it comes to how to make $1 million. Is you can have either a $20 thing, and I'll make sure I have a graphic in this area. I'll make sure I have a graphic in this area just so you can see it. But you can either have a $20 thing and sell 50,000 of those. You can have a $200 thing and sell 5,000 of those. You can have a $2,000 thing and sell 500 of those. You can have a $20,000 thing and sell 50 of those, or you can have a $200,000 thing and sell 5 of those, all in order to make a million. And each one of those things is the same concept, it's the same topic, it's the same idea delivered in multiple different ways. And so that's the whole thing that I'm getting at when it comes to this way to make money, is that the same idea can make you money in multiple different ways. The $20 thing is generally like a book. It can be an ebook, it can be a physical copy book, and then the $200 thing can be the course, or it can be the workshop. The coaching intensive can be the $2,000 thing or the $20,000 thing. And then the mini video series in itself could be the $2,000 thing. So it's the same idea, just delivered in a different way. And if all of them can give you the same result, it just depends on how fast you want to get the result or how much you're willing to sacrifice in order to get that result. The customer defines what the value really is. So if the customer finds a coaching incentive more value, they'll be willing to spend the $20,000 to get the coaching incentive. But if the another customer sees the ebook as just as valuable as the coaching intensive, then they'll buy the ebook instead of the coaching intensive because they'll save money to get the same result and the same information. So it's not that you're getting over on people, you're just giving people a way to consume information in the way that they prefer to consume it. So yeah, multiple revenue streams, different learning styles, all of that good stuff. The fourth one is a little nuanced, but you can either license or white label it. So this is like selling what it is that you do, or selling your process, or selling the thing that you created to somebody else and letting them put their logo on it or letting them put their name on it. So it's like once you've created something that works, once you know that this certain thing that you've created helps you get people results, then you can allow other people to use it before a fee. So licensing is how you turn one method into massive multiplication. If you know that your software helps somebody make an additional $100,000, then you can charge somebody $1,000 to use to use your product up to 10 times or up to 100 times or up to 1,000 times. And you can just keep having that on auto renewal. Like you have white label it every month for $1,000 a month for 12 months. That's $12,000 for work that you've already done that you don't even have to do anymore. You literally have sold it to somebody else for them to use it. You can get a commission check or whatever off of that. But this is like a coach licensing their program to the coaches, or a designer licensing or white labeling their templates for somebody else to use. I've done both of those. Or a consultant licensing their curriculum to organizations for them to use. So multiple different ways that you can license what you do or white label what you do to not have to do the work again, but you let others distribute it and make money off of it themselves, because then they can just upcharge for it and everything like that. Cost-based pricing, like I mentioned before. And this is about building scalability, or having scalability through systems and not through stress or not through work. So that's one that, although it's, like I said, more nuanced, it depends on what you do, it's still very lucrative. It's still a good way to make additional income. And it's probably one that I'll end up doing a lot more frequently in the near future. Then turning it into a community. This is number 5. Turning it into a community is probably one of the things that's becoming more popular, especially now with school and platforms like School, Thinkific, and other platforms like that nowadays, because every great idea has a community that's attached to it. There's a group of people who want accountability, there's a group of people who want support, and there's a group of people who want a connection as they grow. They want to build a connection with other people who are attached to this same idea. So you want to be able to turn this idea into a community, or turn this idea into a membership, a mastermind, or some type of subscription model that offers access, that offers updates, and that offers new content monthly. People want to be updated, or people want to be a part of something, especially if it's a part of something that's going to help them be more successful. So if you're in the relationship space and you have an offer that helps people build better relationships, they want to be around other people that have better relationships. If you have something around money, finances, then people want to be a part of something that's going to help them better their finances. If you have something in regards to business, like Profitable on Purpose community, if you want to be around other entrepreneurs, other business owners who want to build more profitable businesses, then that's the community that's going to be for you, because then you'll be able to y'all have the same questions, y'all have the same problems, y'all have similar questions, y'all have similar issues, y'all have different things, and understanding that all principles are microcosms of each other will help you understand that whatever works for somebody in the fitness realm can help me in the finance realm, or can help me in the relationship realm, or can help me in the industrial realm or whatever, then it becomes a lot more immersive and a lot more impactful for people to be a part of. Community is also a very good way to build recurring revenue and recurring impact. So, and then even the Bible says in Ecclesiastes, I believe it's 4:9, that two are better than one because they have a good return for their labor. Number six, adding consulting or coaching. This is something that I believe King Solomon in the book of Second Kings, I think he was Second Kings. Second Kings, David's son from Bathsheba and everything like that. Won't go into that backstory right now. But this is basically what some of the wisdom that God gave him, that he ended up teaching other kings and queens. He was literally paid like millions of dollars in today's time in gold back then to teach others how to govern their own kingdoms. So teaching your contemporaries is one of the best ways to make a lot of money, to make another stream of income. Because when people see that you have an idea that's working, they'll want to know how you did it. And you can add a coaching and consulting stream that helps others apply your method to their own business, to their own niches, and to their own goals. That's why you see a lot of people technically becoming coaches now, because of the simple fact that they see the lucrativeness, the profitability. I said lucrativeness. I know that's not a word, but they see the profitability of what you're doing, and they want to, and people want to model success. So if they see something that works, they want to know how you do it. You can monetize that. You realize that it's not that you're reinventing the idea, but you're repurposing your expertise. You're giving your expertise another realm to shine in. I'm gonna kind of speed through these last ones just so this video isn't just too long. But the next one is partner with other creatives. Partnership is one of the easiest ways to multiply reach, but also to multiply revenue. I remember when I was in photography, was doing my photography stuff, the easiest way for me to gain a bigger following, to gain more clients, to gain more revenue was to collaborate with other photographers, collaborate with other people who have the same audiences as you, or whose audiences align with you and align with your mission and everything like that, and either co-create products, co-create workshops, co-create experiences or bundles around your core idea. This could be makeup artists, this could be hairstylists, and if you're in photography realm, this can just be whoever is a contemporary or whoever complements your service. Partner with them, because shared platforms equals shared profit. It helps both of y'all make money without y'all having to do the additional work of having to find more people. Number 8, turn the results into storytelling content. So, what I mean by this is that the results your idea produces can become monetizable marketing. So, what I mean by this is that like testimonials, behind the scenes videos, and case studies can actually feed your content engine, which drives traffic back to every paid offer. Every story shared is an income seed sown. And so this is another thing that I also learned when it comes to testimonials, behind the scenes stuff, and case studies, is that they can be used for your ads and they can be used for your content in order for you to no longer be the face of the business. So if you are the only person that, or if you're the only reason why people end up paying you, booking the service, booking the, or paying for the product, or following the page or whatever, if you're the only reason why people are connected to the brand, then it becomes a hard brand to sell. And a lot of the reason why we create brands and create businesses is so that we can sell them. Essentially, some people, they don't want to sell their business, which is fine. You can keep it in the family or whatever. But again, if you're not connected to the business, then it's hard for that brand to continue to grow even without you. So using content in a way that can actually benefit you in ads and content like I said, leads back to the offer, detaches you from the brand as an additional bonus tip, and then it also leaves room for other people, other team members, other owners, or whatever. It gives them an opportunity to come in without people feeling like they're this guest or out of place or whatever. So that's just an extra tip, extra thing to just think about. Number 9 is adding affiliates and brand partnerships. And let me just say this, none of these are in any particular order. You can literally do these in whatever order you feel like. You can pile them up on top of each other or whatever. But these are actually what a lot of people, especially in the content creation realm, have become aware of or become accustomed to, is affiliate marketing or affiliate partnerships and brand partnerships. Your idea might naturally connect with tools, apps, or products that you use daily. And so, like me using this mic, for instance, if my idea of a podcast is something that connects with this mic or with a light or with a camera or whatever, those can then turn into actual partnerships because people want to know not just how I do the stuff, but what stuff do you actually use? People not only want to know how do you have your audio sounding so well, but they also want to know, okay, what audio sources do you use? Do you use Blue Yeti? Do you use Shure? Do you use, Adorama? Like what cameras do you use Sony? Do you use Canon? So those things can always be like, if people want to know your setup, those things can always be a way for you to make additional money by just using the things that you already use. And you don't have to put any extra effort into it. It's just being paid for being aligned. If if the brand knows that most photographers come and listen to my stuff, come watch my content, and it's a way for me. They feel as though because we are a camera brand or an audio brand or a video brand or whatever, because your audience is who wants our products or who buys our products, let's partner with you and you can drive traffic to our stuff. You can do a paid ad. This is how you get paid ads in people's content. This is how you end up getting that paid content on Instagram and TikTok and things like that. This is how you get those paid partnerships and stuff. And it kind of just adds back to partnering with other creators. In a sense, this is kind of the business side of it, partnering with other businesses who are aligned, who have the same audience as you do. And then number 10, turning your idea into intellectual property. If your idea has unique frameworks, formulas, or systems, protect it and package it. That means trademark your method, create digital assets around it, and bundle your knowledge into licensing, like we spoke about, speaking engagements, and publication opportunities. So if you have a book or if you have an idea, turn it into a book or turning it to a speaking event or license it for you to be able to sell for other people to use. Because, like I said, ideas are at the pinnacle or at the top of wealth creation. And so you need to understand that ideas are wealth, but only if they're owned. So, like I said, you don't need 10 ideas to make 10 different streams of income. You just need one clear idea, one clear concept that can be multiplied through intention, that can be multiplied through structure, and that can be multiplied through stewardship. And so I want you to understand as I close this video out that creativity is what builds ideas. And the lovely part about it is that because we were made in the image of God, God instilled different aspects of his creativity in each and every one of us. And so if you hone and if you really cultivate the ideation part of your being, then you'll realize that there's nothing that you can't create because God has put a different aspect of his creativity into each and every one of us. There's literally an endless supply of creativity that we have. And when we understand that creativity builds ideas, then we'll realize that because we are creative because we were created after God, who told us that he was creative, because the very first thing that he told us was that he created the heavens and earth. So the very first thing that God told us is that he was creative. So the very first thing that we should know about ourselves is that we are creative. When you understand that, you understand that there's an endless supply of ideas that you can have. And given the fact that you have endless supply of ideas, then that means you have endless opportunities to create money or to create wealth. But the thing is that discipline is the only thing that builds empires. Discipline is the only thing that builds empires, or one of the things that builds empires. So it's not just about creativity, but it's the discipline to take that one idea and multiply it in as many ways as you can. And I just gave you 10. So hopefully this video blessed you. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you were introduced to an idea that you didn't know before or wasn't aware of. Because, and then here's another principle that I'll end on, is that you don't lack access. You lack awareness to the access that you have. And one of the reasons why I created this channel is so I can give you guys the awareness, or help you guys become more aware of the access that you have. So hopefully this video bless you. Hopefully you subscribe, you like, you share it with somebody who you feel like this will help. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.